All right, go for it.
Good morning, everyone. Good mythical morning, everyone. It's the one and only V the Gorilla Economist coming to you live with my main man, simply known as El Cuco, aka CJ, aka the master of the flux capacitor. And we bring you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. Check us out, roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money, as well as DTube, Facebook, Steam It, and every single podcasting app known to humanity, decentralized or otherwise. We're there. We give it to you unhomogenized with no pasteurization. We give you the full effect of the raw deal. That's how we do it here. So sit down and get yourself a worthy information meal. I'm a poet this morning, CJ, and I didn't even know it.
I like it.
I'm just flowing, dude. Sometimes, you got just enough dark roast in you. The neurons are firing right. The stars are aligned, and you start busting rhymes. Look at that. I wasn't even trying when I just said that. Wow. Power of dark roast.
You're just a natural. I mean, we'll get you to Detroit. Put you up on the stage right where Eminem, broke it down.
That's it. Lose yourself in the music. Oh man. Tupac is turning in his grave. Oh man. But with that being said, also guys, check out our sponsors. Listen, Siege, when I drink coffee in the morning, I want my neurons to fire, but at the same time, I don't like that jitter. You know what I'm saying? I like to be alert, but not like I'm on speed. And for that, I love my CBD infused coffee, Siege. Love it. Guys, check it out. mycbdedibles.com. Check out the coffee. Check out my favorite, the chocolate peanut butter Buckeyes, the almond coconut truffles, the granola bars. Oh my God, the deliciousness keeps on going, Siege. Dude, what's your favorite one?
Still the white chocolate pecan truffles. I mean, it's just
yes. The white chocolate pecan truffles is to die for. It is slap your mama good, man.
It's more of a dessert to me. It's like a treat, to have that because it is more like a dessert. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do a dessert at a restaurant or out to eat. When I get home, I'm gonna have one of the delicious white chocolate pecan truffles. Yeah, that's my favorite by far. V.
It's so good, man. It's so delicious. It's so infused. Folks, it's 99.99% lab verified CBD isolate. It's the pure CBD you can get. None of this rancid BS, unfiltered garbage that the majority of edibles are made out of. It's just tasteless. You can taste the oil. It's gross. Blah, yuck. This is as smooth can be. You can't taste it. Oh, you got to see. The CBD is where it's at, my friends. It's where it's at. mycbdedibles.com. mycbdedibles.com. Order yourself a pack. Hey, dude, we should do some discount codes, man. Are they going to do that for us? Like, get like 5% off or 10% off.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Right now, our thing is just getting our wholesale guide finished because we do have a handful of retailers that are going to start carrying our products, so we're very excited about that. So get the wholesale guide finished, get that published. We have some affiliates. We're going to be doing some affiliate accounts with some of our media partners. I know that Ken Shorkin Jr. on the Daily Economist, Rory at the Daily Coin. So we're excited about getting that started. We will definitely have a promotion specifically for Rogue listeners, and I promise you there'll be an even better discount than the last time. How's that, V?
Wow. Holy smokes. Last time was what, 30% off?
30%. Yep, 30%.
Ooh, man. That's crazy. 30% off. I thought that was being overtly generous.
And I appreciate the love. We've had a lot of Rogue listeners that have emailed in. One specifically that lives in Japan is like, hey, can you ship to Japan for me? And then just all kinds of cool things. So I appreciate the love. And, we always respond to every communication, every email. So if you do have any questions, and we do have a lot of resources for CBD products, not just our own, because we advocate specifically for the use of it. So we have a lot of resources. So don't hesitate, to reach out if you have any questions.
Absolutely, folks. And, there are people out there, they're doing their advertisements again. Well, how do you think we pay for this operation, folks? How do you think that happens? I mean, you can't find us on Patreon, We're a small outfit, bro. We're a small outfit. But people think, you only got 15,000 YouTube subs. No, YouTube is just one of the platforms we utilize. We got a lot more people. Most people would be shocked that we have about what 300,000 to 400,000 that go in and out of Rogue Money every month. It's crazy.
Right.
It's absolutely
right.
crazy.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, also check out the cryptoschool.io, the cryptoschool.io. If the psychics, the witches, the warlocks have let you down and you're ready to make some real trades, learn the most powerful method of trading, which is called technical analysis, and learn how to make a profit, let Cowboy and Z over at the Crypto School show you how it's done. Check them out. The Watchers Trade Room, they're over there. And Frank's got the entire educational series up there. So if you want to learn about cryptocurrencies, you don't know where to begin, go to there, thecryptoschool.io. See, do we have the links in the description box yet?
We sure do.
Yay! That's awesome. I could probably say, at the end of this, all my advertising spiel, which some of you hate because you can't stand it, you bunch of curmudgeons, you. I could probably say links are in the description box, and it'll actually be there. Anyway, the cryptoschool.io. If you've been failed, if you've been burned by witches and warlocks, and psychics and remote viewers have let you down, Cowboy and Z, who's been returning winning trades after trade after trade after trade. Cowboy, whose stinking charts are so friggin' accurate that other people are literally ripping it off and stealing it and sharing it all throughout the interwebs. I mean, Cowboy's been charting Cowboy's been charting Bitcoin to the penny since February. I mean, it's dead balls accurate. Dead balls accurate. That's how good he's been in calling the BTC market. And if you've been following the Watchers Trade Room, you've avoided all this. You saw this. You saw this train wreck come. We told you guys a train wreck's coming. We told y'all. But some of y'all out there want to listen to the psychics and the wizards and warlocks because they want to pump and dump. But look who's the last one standing. Everybody else is dying out bleeding. We're standing. Join the team that makes it happen for you. Watch us trade over at thecryptoschool.io. And folks, check it out, remaincalm.net. If you got collections issues, remaincalm.net. Don't freak out, remain calm. And last but not least, folks, you got Bitcoin, you got crypto, you got, I don't care, whatever cryptos you got $5,000 more of cryptos that you need to liquidate. You're worried about Coinbase wanting a DNA sample, a stool sample, and your firstborn child, and they're going to report you to every single jurisdictional authority known to mankind. Check out the liquidbase.io, liquidbase.io. Go there now. That is our platform, created by yours truly. The ape has done it. Yes. I've solved the biggest problem in cryptos, which is liquidity. Go there and we can liquidate whether you got $5,000 or $5 billion in cryptos. No problem. We can get it done for you. Go there, liquidbase.io. We do it securely. We do it free of any third-party risk. We do it without any sort of reporting at all on our end. And we do it through the power of LBMA certified gold, baby, and the Good Delivery Network. And with that being said, Siege, let's crack lacking, brother.
Hey, good morning, V. Doing great. Had a great weekend. And how was yours?
Muy bien. It was a good weekend, man. I can't complain. Had a lot of fun. Relaxed. A lot of good eatings. I'm all about good eatings these days, Siege. I don't know what that's all about. I gotta lose the inner fat kid in me. I gotta put an end to him.
You work hard, you play hard, you eat harder, V, right?
That's it, dog. Work hard, eat harder. Yes, you should make T-shirts that say that. Work hard, eat harder. I love it. Work hard, eat harder. Yeah, exactly. Gotta get rid of the inner fat kid.
And I hope our listeners had a good weekend as well. I hope everyone had some quality time with family and friends and had an opportunity to relax.
Absolutely. I'm glad that I don't live next to a Chipotle.
Well, why is that? Why is that?
Well, the closest Chipotles to me are like at least 15 minutes out driving. And if I had one literally I'd be there every day. There's a combination I get. It's just damn addicting. It's so good. God, I love Chipotle. I'm not getting paid to say this either. I love Chipotle. I just really do. Oh my God, the chicken with the steak. I do the double meat, but a chicken and steak. Brown rice, little hot salsa, a little mild salsa, little sour cream, little avocado. Guacamole, little lettuce, little cheese action going.
You're gonna have me doing lunch like at 10 o'clock this morning,
dude. I think I might do the same thing. I might just drive out there and wait. They don't even open at 10. Damn it! They open at 11. Get a bowl, bro. I do a bowl, and I do that, and oh my god, it's quite delicious, man. Just I never get tired of it, man. I mean, if you have a bad meal at Chipotle, that's your own fault. you did something wrong, you know. You can't beat it, man. It kind of makes you wonder why McDonald's is even in business. Like, who the hell goes to McDonald's? Like, you ever drove by McDonald's, you see a whole line of people on McDonald's, and you kind of cringe? Like, I do that. I'm like, ugh, haven't you seen Super Size Me?
Yeah,
where have you been?
And I don't see that. I used to see that a lot, like with the long lines, but anymore, I'll drive by them and I don't see that as many cars as I used to. I think people are starting to finally figure that out a little bit.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, now McDonald's trying to compete with my favorite burger joint, Five Guys. Ooh, you got Five Guys in there. Of course you do.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Five Guys. Oh my god, it's so good. Like, McDonald's trying to compete with Five Guys. They have like made fresh to order quarter pounders. I'm like, really? I'm like, it's too little, too late, man. It's Morgan Spurlock has single-handedly torpedoed McDonald's. He's torpedoed them. They're done. Like, I look at people that go to McDonald's, I'm just like shaking my head. I'm like, what the hell? And did you find out what Burger King chicken nuggets are made out of? Yeah,
I saw that. What is it? Is it pig butt or something like that?
Dude, it really is. It's reconstituted pig rectums. That is what because you ever wonder why? How the hell can they offer a 10 piece
for like 99 cents? It's ridiculous, right?
You're wondering how the hell they're offering 10-piece nuggets for 99 cents, and why is it all white meat? Cause it ain't chicken nuggets, fool. It ain't chicken nuggets. It's chitlins. It's worse than chitlins. No, chitlins actually. This is rectum. You reconstituted pig rectums. That's what Burger King chicken nuggets are. It's ridiculous. And the burgers are frozen, ammonia-laden crap. Oh, it's disgusting. Who goes to fast food these days? Come on, there's so many great options. Fast, fresh. I mean, freaking Five Guys, Shake Shack, Chipotle, Qdoba. I mean, there's so many great options, man. We got no excuse, man. People have no excuse. If I see somebody at McDonald's and you're spending like $15 for your value meal because you wanted to do the dude, why is the Big Mac all bread these days?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's it's tiny slivers of meat, and it's mostly bread and sauce. What is this? What happened to the Big Mac in the 80s, man? You had those nice juicy patties, you know, and they fried the fries in animal fat, which is amazing. You know, Buffalo Wild Wings still do that. They fry their fries in beef tallow, which is what McDonald's used to do way back in the day. So I love them B-dub fries, man. Hey, dude, by the way, you got me hooked on those Chipotle barbecue things. You and my wife, too. My wife has got me hooked on it as well. She's,
nice.
Dude, you're right. I'm like, what is it? Just Chipotle barbecue dry rub? She's like, you need to try it. I'm like, yeah, CJ likes this stuff. Let me try it. I'm like, dude, it's amazing. Low calories, too, man.
It's the best. Yeah, you can't beat that flavor. It's just, it's one of those that, because I like the sauces sometimes, but, I'm more of the dry rub, especially like if you can get any type of wing place that has smoked dry rub. Oh, now you're talking. Oh, my God, you're right. Now you're talking.
No, you're right. You're right. Because, the sauce could be just too much. It could just be, like, overpowering, That dry rub, man.
Right.
That dry rub. All right, folks, before you go think that this is the V and CJ food hour, this is V and CJ does food reviews. Sorry about that for getting sidetracked. Okay. All right, we're back in the game. CJ, what's crack-a-lacking, man? What's going on in the world, man? Let's get into the news.
Well, let's do it real quick. Yeah, for our listeners, make sure to go rugmoney.net. Check out some articles that James posted overnight. James is always working hard, posting articles up the time. So go check it out. New article by Harley Schlanger, Stop Genocide, Peace and Development for Yemen, which we advocate specifically for. Also, there's an article by James out. He published an article specifically talking about breaking EU and Merkel's downfall, which, we're watching that happen. So again, go to rugmoney.net, check out those articles. I always tell James, he's like, hey, do me a favor, plug those in the morning. And V, I did it at the start because by the end of the show, I will forget. So I want to get that out of the way.
Dude, James is a machine, bro. He's a machine. Anyway, folks, a lot of things going on in the world. It's a new ball game. It's a new ball game. I've been one of the apostolic voices of change that's out there Myself, guys like London Paul, guys like Jim Willie. Jim's been doing a lot longer, way longer than I have. We're some of the voices of change because, you know what, we have a lot of contacts overseas, internationally. We have a lot of contacts with the movers and shakers within the New Silk Road and what's happening in China and whatnot. And people that still don't get how China is and what China is, they still look at China like it's some Maoist, communistic dictatorship, tyrannical, savage government that kills people. And that is not the case. Usually people that tell me that are people who've never been to China, never lived in China, never saw China. They're so tainted by Western rose-colored glasses. Human rights violations. I don't think there's a country in the world that's violated more human rights than us, CJ. Truthfully.
Right. No.
Right? There's not a country in the world that has killed, that has racked up a body count like we have. Not a country in the world. Okay, and I don't say that with any sort of pride whatsoever. I say that with truth. The way things change is when you begin to start facing harsh reality and truth. That's how it changes, right? You don't go to Alcoholics Anonymous and talk about, hey, man, last night I had a Shirley Temple, when in reality you had Red Bull and vodka. You don't go to any sort of recovery or addiction place and then be disingenuous, right, Siege? You don't do that. No. Nobody goes to a rehab facility and be disingenuous. If you're disingenuous in the rehab facility, you're just not going to recover. That's just the way it is. Bottom. Period. You know. Period. Okay. You're just not going to recover. Why? Because you're being disingenuous with yourself. The way we change as a country is we become the biggest thing that kills us here, folks, domestically. Okay. The biggest thing that kills us domestically is because we have a murderous foreign policy. And when I say kills us here domestically, I'm talking about the cost, the expense, the varying disparities of wealth that's here, the false undulations within our markets, all these things that are happening, this debt-based economy that we are running on like overtime, overheating at this point, okay? It happens because we have a murderous foreign policy. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that is this. We have a foreign policy in which we have an unfettered military-industrial complex that does nothing, that in the last 50 years have overthrown 30-some-odd, close to damn 40 democratically elected countries around the world. That's what our murderous foreign policy has done. It's created color revolutions throughout certain parts of the region. The body count is astronomical. We have also justified in some of the annals of government that it's okay to go ahead and guard poppy seeds plantations in Afghanistan, and it's okay to get in bed with drug cartels, and it's okay to have massive amounts of certain types of drugs like cocaine and opiates flood into the country and look the other way because it's beneficial to the prison industry. You see, there's a lot of nefarious workings in this country that you don't see anywhere else. You don't have a prison industrial complex, a drug industrial complex, a military industrial complex, all working in collusion. These are the engines, folks, that have been running roughshod, that have been running on hyperdrive for the last several decades. These are the engines that are at play. And these are the modus operandi that need to be taken apart. And it's been like this since the 2008 collapse, when the entire world was woken up. And China and Russia, they kind of knew it was coming way before 2008. But the world kind of woke up and they understood that, hey, you know what? The emperor has no clothes. America is not what it's said to be. America is not what its propaganda has said that it would be. And for us as a country to get back to the glory of who we are as a people, who we are as a nation, under the documents of our founding fathers, under the documents that we hold sacred, which is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, murderous foreign policy has to be done away with. The prison industrial complex has to be done away with. The military industrial complex has to be done away with. The drug industrial complex has to get done away with. The food cartels have to be done away with. They need to be broken up. And most importantly, we need to put fettered iron on congressmen and senators by introducing term limits. We need to also savage the banks. We need to savage the banks by bringing back Glass-Steagall, which ends a lot of the speculation and back-end bets on Wall Street, which is the first step, and probably one of the first steps in order to get us back to sound banking and eventually a physical economy. This is how a country wins. This is the path forward. This is the gorilla's path to recovery. This is what needs to be done. You see, you cannot fix little domestic issues here, have little foreign wins here and there. And like I said it before so many times, CJ and I have said this many times. We've said it so many times, emphasized on this program. You cannot go into the garage, clean up all the spider webs, but you don't kill the spiders. You don't do that. You don't clean up all the webs and leave the spiders intact and hope that, hey, you know what? Maybe the spider won't spin the same type of web in the same location. But a spider's going to do what a spider's going to do because it's his nature. It's his nature to spin webs. It's his nature to catch prey like that. So with these various industrial complexes, wiping them out is the only solution. Wiping them out, dismantling them, throwing them into the hash heap of history is the only solution. We have an article here from Strategic Culture. Once I get it pulled up. And one of the things I've said is that it is a new ball game. Will America play by the new rules? The world transformed, and no one in America noticed. It's a great article by Martin Seif. This is the Asia Pacific story of the week. And here's the thing. This is something that nobody noticed in America because Americans are too busy. Mm-hmm. The world transformed and nobody in the West noticed. India and Pakistan, longtime rivals, longtime enemies. Okay, this is like oil and water. India and Pakistan is like, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Like peanut butter and habanero peppers. Actually, that sounds delicious, CJ. Yeah, that sounds delicious. It's like pulled pork and shrimp. Maybe that, I don't know. I'm going to stop with the food analogies. It just don't go. India and Pakistan just don't go. They're longtime rivals. Well, this week, folks, this past week, they just sat down. They've joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The 17-year-old body, since its founding in June of 2001, has quietly established itself as the main alliance and grouping of nations across Eurasia. Now it has expanded from 6 nations to 8. And the 2 new members are the giant nuclear-armed regional powers of South Asia. India with a population of 1.3 billion. Pakistan with a population of 193 million. And in other words, the combined population of the SCO powers are over 1.5 billion, has virtually doubled at a single stroke. The long-term global consequences of this development are enormous. It's likely to prove the single most important factor ensuring peace and removing the threat of nuclear war over Southeast Asia and from 20% of the human race. It now raises the total population of the world in the 8 SCO nations to 40% of the entire world, including one of the 2 most powerful thermonuclear armed nations, Russia, and the other 3 nuclear powers, China, India, and Pakistan. The development is a diplomatic triumph, especially for Moscow. Russia has been seeking for decades to ease its longtime close strategic ally, India, into the SCO umbrella. This vision was clearly articulated by one of Russia's greatest strategic minds of the 20th century, former Premier and Foreign Minister Yevgeny Primakov, who died in 2015. In the past, China has quietly but steadfastly blocked the India's secession. But with Pakistan, China's ally, joining at the same time, the influence of Beijing and Moscow is harmonized. The move can only boost Russia's already leading role in the diplomacy and national security of the Asian continent. For both Beijing and Delhi, the road for good relations with each other and the resolution of issues, such as sharing the water resources of the Himalayas, investing in the economic development of Africa, now runs through Moscow. President Vladimir Putin is ideally placed to be a regular interlocutor between the two giant nations of Asia. The move has also been seen as a most significant reaction by India to the increasing volatility and unpredictability of the United States in the global arena. Are we not the pill-popping schizophrenic kid? Are we not the schizophrenic, pill-popping kid in the playground? Are we not that? You see, if the global world are children, if the global nations of the world are children, we are the heavily medicated, doped-up kid who's just out of his freaking mind. We are the hyperactive nut job kid. That's who we are. Okay? The one who's schizophrenic. The one who hears voices. The one who just runs in front of you while you're building your little sandcastle on the playground, and he wrecks it. He kicks it all down, steals your transformer, takes your juice box, and curses out your mother and runs for the hills. That's us. But of course, they will tell you, certain ardents and certain proponents will tell you that this is five-dimensional chess is being played. That's why we appear to be unreliable. That's why we appear to be volatile. That's why we appear to be schizophrenic. No, there's no 5D chess. It's called 1D stupidity. It's called 4-year vision. Okay? 4-year vision. American politicians look at things 4 years at a time. They're not looking at 24 years, 30 years ahead. They don't care about their country at the end of the day. Most of them don't. In Washington and Western Europe, it's fashionable, indeed reflexively inevitable, that this is entirely blamed on President Donald Trump. And that's not true. They like to pin it on Trump, but Trump, if anything, he's trying to establish some sort of order. But in reality, this alarming trend goes back to at least the bombing in Kosovo by the United States and its allies in 1998, defining the lack of sanction in international law, and for any such action at the time because other key members of the United Nations Security Council oppose it. Since then, under 4 successive presidents, the U.S. appetite for unpredictable military interventions around the world, usually bungled and open-ended, has inflicted suffering and instability on a wide range of nations, primarily the Middle East, but also in Eurasia and South Asia. And think about it. We have a bumbling, stumbling military operation. We go out there with a lot of pomp, and circumstance. We go out there into the field and, we're gonna win it over. We're gonna have regime change. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And what happens? We make a mess of things. We break things. We're great at effing things up. We're not great at fixing much of anything. This is not the generation of our forefathers, folks. This is not the generation that leapt out of planes to go shoot Nazis. This is not the generation that stormed Normandy on D-Day. This is not the generation that was island hopping all across the South Pacific into Iwo Jima, fighting their way through. This is not that generation. This is a lower IQ, bumbling, stumbling, idiot nation that has gotten fat and gluttonous and stupid. Full on its hubris. Its hubris is so full. Its propaganda is so tantalizing that that I would say 90-some-odd% of the population is enamored by the puffing and bellowing and the vitriol of this nation's controllers and its propaganda. They don't realize that there's nothing but weakness here. They don't realize that this is an easy takedown. They don't realize that unless we correct course, that we get out of this international spelunking that we've been doing all over the world, and we get back to basics. We get back into what makes us great. What has made this country always great is that we are a country of individuals and mavericks. But we have a competing interlocutor. And that competing interlocutor is none other than the federal government. That competing problem, that competing persona, that competing body of corruption is none other than the government. It is the parasitic drag on all of us. The faster we cut it down, the better off we all are. So this is what I'm telling you, folks. Again, I like to every so often bring it back to this. 2018 midterm elections. 2018 midterm elections. Very, very vital, folks. The U.S. has been Pakistan's main strategic ally and protector over the last 70 years. And you've seen how the U.S.-Pakistan relationship have pretty much imploded. It's gone. We have done a lot of illegal things in Pakistan. We have a lot of deep state action in Pakistan. We have done so much. It's unreal. So because we've alienated Pakistan, what do we try to do? We try to cozy up to India in order to, and the Indians are not stupid. They're like, oh, we see this coming. This is the old British model. Piss off the Pakis. Get, cozy up to us. Do some little proxies here and there and try to set off a war between India and Pakistan, which they would love, and then come in as the saviors. India is a nuclear power. I believe they're the fourth largest military in the world. I think they're on course to becoming one of the top three. I think it's the top 3 or 4 economies on the planet. India is a world power. They have nuclear arms. They have arguably probably the best air force in the world at this point. I'm serious when I say that. It's crazy. It's shocking. They've actually beaten the American Air Force in training. Just slaughtered them. It's not even funny. So, U.S. policymakers and pundits have established endlessly pontificate that India, as an English-speaking democracy, would become America's ideological and strategic partner in opposing the inevitable rise of China in the world stage. Now, India has beef with China, folks. There's some skirmishes that have happened. There was a war that was fought. It was the Kargil War back in the early 60s, in 63 or something like that. Okay, there's border disputes that go into this to this day, but these are not issues that cannot be overcome because, like I said, again and again and again, the greatest driver in human civilization, the greatest driver in human history is economics. You make something economically viable for two parties to be involved in, they will make sure that one does not screw over the other. It's just the way it is because there's a mutually beneficial gains and there's mutually catastrophic loss. During the era of the Cold War, the loss of any nation of any size and standing of India or Pakistan to a rival or just an independent ideological camp and security grouping would have provoked waves of shock, hurt, rage, and openly expressed fear in the U.S. media. However, what we have seen following the latest epochal development is far more extraordinary. The decision by Delhi and Islamabad have not been praised, condemned, or even acknowledged in the mainstream of U.S. political strategic debate. They've been ignored. To see the quote-unquote leaders and opinion shapers of major superpower that still imagines, and that's the key word here, folks, imagines that it is the dominant hyperpower in the world, conduct its affairs in a way that is potentially worrying and alarming. Reality is we live in a multipolar world, and we've done so at least since 2001. This is the truth that will continue to be denied by Washington, London, Paris, in flat defiance of the abundantly clear facts. This is something that is continuing. You see, there was somebody who said this: the American would scream, will go into his slavery, beating his chest, and proclaiming to the world how free he is. This is a fact, folks. You talk about a multiple. You can have. I can line up the sharpest minds, and everybody will talk about. America is so great. Our military technology is unparalleled. We've won every war we've ever been in. We haven't won a single war. What are you talking about? Well, we've won World War II. 8 out of 10 German casualties were done in the hands of Russians. 8 out of 10. Well, we've won the Korean. No, we haven't. Well, we ended World War II. Well, World War II is already wrapping up and ending, and you just dropped 2 nukes on the Japanese unsuspectingly. Yeah, Japan was already beaten to a hilt. They were willing to kamikaze themselves. They saw the horror of a mushroom cloud. I'll give you some props there. What if we won? What if we won? Have you, CJ? Have you checked your mailbox today to see the we've won every war prize? Have you got one of those?
Not at all, V. Haven't received.
Every day I check my mailbox. See we have won every battle and every war prize, and we're the greatest in the world. You rah rah rah, go go go. I checked the mail for that. Has any one of you been given a raise? Has any one of you been like, did you find $1 million in your bank magically appear? Or have you seen things progressively get worse for you, your family, and your fellow countrymen? I think all of us share a commonality here. Well, the unemployment rate is the lowest it has been. No, it hasn't. You got 96 million permanently unemployed. That means for the last year and a half to 2 years, they've been trying to find a job. They can't find it. They've fallen out of the workforce. They've given up. Well, we have unprecedented hiring. Where? At McDonald's. Oh, I mean the hiring of robots. Yes. We are hiring more automation. Our manufacturing is tipped. Our biggest exports are trash recyclables. Trash and recyclables, biggest export. But we are leaders in yes, we are leaders in pharmaceuticals. Yes. Drugs. That's the other big export we have. Drugs. And we have the biggest export we have is our paper. What is that? The dollar. You see, folks, I give these hard facts to you in order to light a fire underneath you, that you will not go quietly into the night, that you will not shake off responsibility, that you will not say, hey, you know what, it's somebody else's problem, or you will not say to yourself, it's all his loss, and you will not say to yourself that, oh, QAnon has said that, boom, boom, boom will happen again, and everything will be okay after some more boom, boom, boom. The onus is on you. You see, you could say to yourself that the victory's been won. It's all good. It's all going to be, MAGA all over the place. He can't do it alone. 2018 midterm elections. Let's make it happen, folks. Let's make it happen. And speaking about making it happen, see, the turd in the hummus bowl has won.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Just amazing, especially that right before the elections, he made the media do a blackout on all his rivals, so his rivals could not even get on the television or any media network anywhere. Yeah, that's all. That's all fair in Turkey, right? I mean,
yeah, it was a huge consolidation of powers.
Break that down for us, Siege, man.
Yeah, so obviously with his quote unquote election and carrying, I believe it was roughly the majority of votes, he basically gave himself specific powers, eliminating the prime minister position altogether. And he's also granting himself exclusive permission to appoint people to their parliament, the equivalent of our Congress. So no longer will those be elected people. Those will be people that he identifies, and Erdogan will hand select those. He also has given himself complete control over their spending, their budgeting, and then last but not least, he has granted himself the ability to extend his powers, I believe, until like 2024 V. So again, it's slipping into more of a dictatorship than anything else right now, V.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now, man. My man, the hummus in the turd in the hummus bowl. He's getting a lot of inspiration from none other than one person in the entire planet. One person. Erdogan goes to sleep at night and he dreams of being Nicholas the Sweetness, the bus driver Maduro.
I knew you were going to go there. Absolutely.
He dreams of being Maduro. He dreams that he too can be in parliament, dancing the bachata, dancing salsa while his country burns. I mean, this is a page right out of Nicolas Maduro's "How to Screw Your Country and Wreck Everything" book 101. I'm the Turks. Again, folks, this is what makes Americans different from many other people in the world. We have a heritage of freedom. We have a heritage and a culture of individualism, of freedom. The Constitution still runs through our veins. It's still in our consciousness. It's still in our mindset. It might not be there in another generation or two. That's why it's so damn important. We get to fixing right quick what all the problems are. You see, people like the Turks, they don't know what a democratic form of Republican government is. They have no idea what a constitutional republic is. To them, democracies is whatever. Countries like them have no history like us. That's what makes America special. We're a country of individuals. We're a country of doers. We're a country that believes that government is best that governs least. There is no other country in the world that has that outlook. Do you understand, folks? That's why when we're geared up, that is why when we are doing what we're supposed to do and we get our heads out of our asses, we are the best damn country on planet Earth. There's nobody that can compete with us. You have to understand that. There's nobody that can compete with us if we can do what we need to do, if we can get rid of the shackles of a bloated, out-of-control, tyrannical government and bring them to heel, then our greatness can be on display. This type of crap cannot happen here. It could happen in California because they're 90% of Californians are damn near brain dead. It could happen in New York. 90% of New Yorkers are damn near brain dead. They're stupid. It's funny. You got Northern California, which is like predominantly conservative, kind of like Northern New York, which is predominantly conservative. But they have the Stockholm syndrome by sitting around having these libtard politicians dictate and drive their states into total ruin. But apart from those liberal holdouts, the rest of the country's not going to arouse some sort of totalitarian takeover. And you got to be kidding me. It'll be uprising. This is what happens in places like Turkey. So now Turkey is now on its way to a full-blown dictatorship. I mean, there will be some integrations in the Eurasian. At the end of the day, we've lost Turkey. Okay, Turkey is gone full-blown dictator. They will be. But at the same time, Erdogan, because he's a money-hungry bastard, he's going to want some sort of, because if business is good and the U.S. has shut down Turkey from trade and this, that, and the other, they're going to swing east out of necessity. It is what it is. Anyway, see, you got North Korea. The relationships are improving over there, it looks like.
Yeah, it sounds like that they have taken down a lot of their propaganda, their rhetoric, against the United States, showing their missiles basically on U.S. soil, on U.S. beachfront, striking. They've taken down these posters consistently throughout their country, which in part, foreign people that have been allowed there, press, media, had reported that they utilize this, constantly, against the United States. But apparently there's absolutely no sign of those anymore. So it's a huge step, in the right direction for North Korea. V.
Absolutely. And see, let's touch base and let's close out with this one. Dad fatally shot while camping with young daughter, identified as investigators try to determine motive. Go ahead and break this down, man. This is a guy who, look, anybody, you question Martin Pharma, and I think I mentioned this one time when I was talking about Dr. Matthias Rath, who is an absolute wizard when it comes to what is the word? researching cancer, curing cancers, reversing heart disease. He has a patent for reversing heart disease. They don't give out patents like that. And every time he has to come to America, he has to book multiple flights. He stays in undisclosed locations. He's got to come with armed bodyguards because he knows that if you want to go up against the medical mafia, you might wind up dead. Siege, break this down, brother.
Yeah, so dad fatally shot while camping with young daughters. Identified as investigators try to determine the motive. A 35-year-old California father killed while camping with his 2 young daughters has been identified as an avid sportsman, also known as a brilliant chemist. Investigators believe that the girls were in a tent when he was shot in the upper chest shortly before 5 a.m. on Friday in Malibu Creek State Park. Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that some of the work that he was going on, and we're going to try to track this down. We were supposed to tonight have a wonderful interview lined up with Erin Elizabeth with Health Nut News, and she has been documenting and tracking all of the what I'm calling medical assassinations occurring here in the United States.
Yep.
And she did a live stream tonight specifically talking about perhaps some of the cancer research that this chemist was involved with, basically showing that there were more natural ways of, attacking cancer without any type of use of chemotherapy. And then all of a sudden, once that has been determined, and Big Pharma, and he actually worked for pharmaceutical industry, and I think that that's all it takes is the moment that you counter anything to the Big Pharma, this is what happens. And it's unfortunate. I mean, to track the number of holistic doctors that have been assassinated, it's just, and the fact is it gets very little media coverage as well. No one's questioning why all these people who are coming up with more natural medical solutions, to counter, Big Pharma, they disappear. They're off. They're gone. It's a tragedy.
This guy, Tristan Baudet, that's the name of the gentleman, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. You know what his biggest research is?
Go for it.
His biggest research was the fact that he was doing in vivo studies on GCPGA DNA, basically on finding safe alternatives to, but drum roll please, vaccinations and vaccination strategies, safe protein-based vaccines that has a powerful effect on their ability to activate the immune system against certain cancers. Optimal stimulation of T lymphocytes, protein-based vaccines should deliver protein antigens to antigen-presenting cells in the context of the appropriate immunostimulatory signals, thus mimicking actual pathogens. In this report, we describe the synthesis, characterizations, biological evaluation, and the immunostimulatory acid degradable microparticles, which are suitable delivery vehicles for use in protein-based vaccines and cancer immunotherapy. Using a three conjunction strategy, we optimize the attachment of immunostimulatory GCP DNA to our vaccine carriers and demonstrated that under the acidic conditions similar to that found in the endosomal compartments, and what is it? What I've said a billion and one times, you're a cancer patient, you're very acidic. Acidic, I'm sorry, not acidic. That sounds like you're Hasidic. But acidic. Okay. These new particles were capable of simultaneously releasing a model protein antigen and the CpG DNA adjuvant, and we found that in the vivo cytotoxicity assay that the co-encapsulation of ovalbumin, a model antigen, and an immunostimulatory agent in the same particle led to the super cytotoxic T lymphocyte activity compared to particles co-administered with the adjuvant in an unbound form. In addition, we've investigated the ability to use these acid-degradable particles to induce protective immunity in the MO5 murine melanoma model, which is basically a very virulent and very aggressive form of cancer, skin cancer, and found that they were effective. which appear to result from the loss of antigen expression by the cancer cells due in vivo selection pressure. This is a mind-blowing research, man. I got the entire research paper here. I mean, using everything from 3-methylcarlamide, modified GCP macromonomers. I mean, this is like amazing, amazing research here. Amazing research. This is what he was doing. He was killing cancer using a very safely designed vaccination vehicle, not using viruses, but using certain types of GCP DNA-derived proteins that stimulates the immune system as an adjuvant that causes a proper immune response that is able to basically painting the target, putting on a laser beam and painting the target for the macrophages and the white cells to start attacking the cancer cells and killing them. Very effectively. Very effectively. That's what this guy was into. And he's out camping. He's got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and all of a sudden, he's dead? Shot in the chest? Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
There is if you don't think there's a medical hit squad out there, you got another thing coming to you. Watch the movie on Netflix, Brzezinski. It's not about Zbigniew Brzezinski, but it's about the guy who was curing cancer left and right. Dr. Brzezinski, he is now in Mexico because he's got his medical license revoked in the U.S. and they raided his lab like it was a crack house. I mean, you see this all the time. You've seen it with Brzezinski. I've seen it with Hans Nieper. Hans Nieper, great book over there called The Curious Man. It's about the autobiography of Hans Nieper. Hans Nieper was the colleague of Albert Einstein. Brilliant guy, but he was a researcher. He, again, was curing cancer left and right. What do? The FDA raided his doctor's clinic like it was a drug lab, like he was making meth or something like that. They threw him in jail, they threw him in court, and Hans Nieper freaking jumped on a plane and hightailed it back to Europe, lived in exile. And even there, he was curing people on the low, still dodging the American law. See, do you see what I'm saying? We have a military and a medical or a drug industrial complex. These guys need to be kicked in the teeth and killed, period. When you start lining up the CEOs of these pharmaceutical companies and these private contractors, they contract out to keep this whole thing going, which is also tied into the intelligence deep state. It's a death dealer. It is a death industry that these guys are in.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a correlated relationship between the drug cartels, the real drug cartel. I'm talking about the Pfizers, the Mercks of this world, the real drug cartels, alongside with the deep state, alongside with the military. This is a death and destruction model. These men need to be brought to trial. They need to be summarily executed. They need to be brought before a military tribunal, and these traitors need to be shot, period. Look at this. You're out there. You are somebody that has vision. You are a caring human being. You are somebody who has intellect. You have somebody who has clout. You are somebody with influence. You go out there, you try to create something for yourself that's going to better humanity. You're going to go ahead and cure cancer. You're going to go ahead and set people free. You're going to stop suffering and dying of innocent children. You're dead.
And the scary part is that these organizations, these corporations, the pharmaceutical industry, they work in conjunction with government departments. They work in conjunction with the FDA, with the CDC, these government institutions that are supposed to be there to safeguard. And that's my anger with government, all of it, every bit of it. That's, it is just such a corrupt system altogether. Yep. I mean, how many times do we have to have a whistleblower come forth and give evidence of CDC insiders who stated specifically that they hid data, that was unreported and provided it. Congressperson Bill Posey from Florida testifying on the Congress floor about this whistleblower, having all this paperwork. Jason Chavez, or whatever his name is, that left, the House Intelligence, or was supposed to be, hey, yeah, we're going to investigate the CDC. We're going to do something about this. The whole vax movement, Del Bigtree. And
Yeah,
even
what
Trump,
happened to Chaffetz? He's gone. They found some dirt on him. They blackmailed him. They shut him up. He's gone.
and even Trump specifically has said before that, hey, listen, we really do need to take a look at vaccines. There's, something going on. So again, when you take a look at the chronic health conditions that's plaguing our country, and what's happening is it's basically a soft kill, on humanity. That's my frustration. That's what angers me so much about these things. And then this story with this individual who is potentially working on real cures, what do? Oh, we can't have that happen. You're done. You're gone. And this is no conspiracy theory. It's happening, V.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard doctors being drowned in 3 inches of water. I've heard, like, here's some guy, he's out there, he's got some amazing research into autism with using GCMAP, and GCMAP proteins.
Yeah. Dr. Bradstreet,
yeah, exactly. And they're fishing his body out of the river, like 2 weeks after he's been missing, and they deemed it a suicide. I mean, you got guys who've tied themselves. Let me tell you something. I've heard a case in I think it was in Houston or San Antonio. The doctor is a pioneering doctor and scientist researching cancer, and they found him wrapped to his office chair with duct tape, tied up, hands and feet bound behind him, with a gunshot to the back of the head, and they deemed it a suicide. I shit you not.
And let's not forget, a few months ago, we had that CDC chemist or whatever it was that was just recently promoted and everything, that he was found, drowned. He was an avid athlete and everything else, but yet he drowned in 2 feet of water.
Yep.
Ridiculous craziness, V.
Dude, the saddest thing is, like, his 2 beautiful little girls were in the tent when they killed him. I mean, what the hell, man? And this is a homicide. There are homicide detectives that are looking at it. These homicide detectives are going to get shut down. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to find anything on anything that happened with this guy. It's terrible.
Yeah,
absolutely really terrible. Beautiful young guy, vibrant, so full of life, beautiful family, doing research for humanity. This is what happens. This should anger all of you. This should want you to get to the bottom of all this, and to get these parasites who are in control out of our lives, out of our country. There is no place for people who are this evil to be in America. There's no place in America for people like this. They need to go. And that's why we need to take a strong, hard look at who we are as a nation. That's how we change. That's how we change. And that's all I got to say, Siege.
Absolutely. So check back later on. The crypto guys getting together today, V?
Yeah. Cowboy had a never-ending journey the other night. He was flying out of state, but he's back. He's resting up. We'll probably do a show maybe like 1-2 o'clock or something like that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, 1-2 o'clock, and then later on as well, we'll have Charles Hugh Smith. We did reschedule Paul. Paul is traveling today, but he will be back with us on Thursday. Again, we were supposed to have Erin Elizabeth from Health Nut News on this evening. Our condolences to her and her family. So she did have a death in the family, so our condolences to her. But we will get her rescheduled. Very dynamic individual. She's doing a lot to keep this fight going, and she needs our prayers as well for her safekeeping, her safeguard, her and her husband.
Right, absolutely. And with that being said, folks, we are over and out. Take it away, CJ.